And welcome back to Noon Edition. We have local attorney Jerry Pitts with us today, and we've been talking a lot about guns. Now we're moving to a different subject, and this one's probably tough for a lot of parents because you want to be able to discipline your children when they get a little out of hand, but yet your hands are becoming a little more tied by the courts.
Yes, that's where the courts are getting more involved with that. But ultimately, we're still talking about guns in the end, and the courts are saying now, well, if you're not going to discipline your child, we are. Now, we're going to get to that probably in the next segment, but now the rules is so murky, so cloudy, that what do you do with a really, really out-of-hand child? Before, you used to be able to discipline your children, and not very much was going to be said. You could even get discipline in school. You could, even your neighbors in the old days, they could discipline you and nothing happened, except that when your parents got home, you got another discipline.
Yep.
Now what is happening is people are hesitating. They're hesitating because we got the domestic violence statutes, and also we got the statutes that's dealing with what is a reasonable expectation, a reasonable type of punishment for your child. Now, in the spur of the moment, are you going to sit down and think about all the alternatives you have before you discipline your child, or are you going to discipline your child? Now, the danger of that is now the courts will kind of determine, was that a reasonable discipline? Was that excessive? Did you call harm or injury? Well, most of the time when you got smacked by your parents in the old days, it was a little harm somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
But now they're saying, is it excessive harm? So, in fact, what we are happening is the courts are getting to the point where they're almost making a determination what it feels is a good discipline. But the question and the problem is, kids are aware of that, and now they done got to the point where they're saying, if this happens, then that's considered as domestic violence. But we also got a bigger problem. Kids and young people are using weapons, and now they're being treated as an adult when they should have been treated as a kid while they were kids without being rehabilitated, as they call it.
And we all know that back in our day, you smart-mouthed your parents.
You got smacked.
You had something coming your way. Today, kids stand right there and look at their parents in the eye and say, go ahead, hit me. Yeah. I'll do something.
I can go to school and inform them that I have been violated. When in fact, what is happening is these young folks don't understand is that same behavior, even with another young person, can wind them up being treated as an adult and going to an adult situation.
You wrote an article not too long ago, and it was stated perfectly at the very end, where you really have to stop and think before you do anything today as a parent, because what you say can and will be used against you. Now what you do will be used.
You have to almost call your lawyer.
Yeah. Can I do this?
Yeah, and that's going to be, and that kind of hesitation is, I think, one of the main focal reasons that our young folks have become and gotten out of hand.
Jerry, thank you so much for your time today. You're always a pleasure to talk to, and you always make people think, which is always a good thing.
I'm glad for you to have me.
All right, we'll be back with more right after this.